Not really sure how to begin this one because 5D mystics are not in any way, shape, or form, or functional adults unaware of the amazing journey of being a human. It's like, wow, did you really think we were parasites and this evil thing and demons and devils? And like, really? Did anybody? No, 5D don't do shit like that. We're like, wow, it's amazing where we're at. That's because, though, we're self-agents driven. That means our... So, the heart of yours is always in the forefront for the 5D. We don't disconnect from expanding consciousness. Like, we stay in it. When I began having clairs, I associated it to grace and a lot of other beautiful words. And to this day, I like Akash. But I can say it's energy. So when I'm doing Akashic record readings, I know that half of humanity, or even more, actually 100% can become, actually they already are intuitive. The thing is, they don't know how to regulate their nervous system, and they don't actually harness their emotions in any way, shape, or form because they don't grow up out of teenage land. 4D collective, doing tarot readings and a lot of other stuff that gives guidance to 4D collective, 3D, they're in separation consciousness. They don't know their own sense of self-worth from within yet. They don't have secure attachment in their body. And that's because of unresolved trauma. There's also transgenerational. It's a very serious business. We got good therapists like Patrick Tiahan, who's a childhood trauma survivor. And so he's also a therapist, and he is sharing what it's like once you're healed and how you won't really be using the charge state to share your trauma story because you have healed. The word healing means something to those who have trauma memory, and they know how to do a good job with a good therapist because it's all emotional. Because the first 7 months of your life, and in fact the first year of your life, it's only the right brain mode that's online. So the 4D spends time though in stories because their drive is not self-agency. No, the heart is broken with I haven't been seen, I haven't been soothed, I haven't been heard, did not get tended to. I have actually unresolved trauma memory that's trying to reallocate itself, like when we sleep in REM sleep, but they ignore that and they believe the nightmares to be true. The demonic possessions, they have a whole buttload of ancients who explain it. Now science can explain it. What science? Neuroscience and the good mental health professionals. The good ones means the ones who know, yes, the polyvagal theory is still in the works of proving it for our empirical researchers. In the meantime, though, it has been working to help people to learn about how to navigate their own nervous system and their window of tolerance. So like when they get hyperaroused, so I have panic attacks. I know how to regulate my nervous system thanks to not only being trauma informed, but actually hearing the first video I ever came across, this was during the pandemic. I was so thankful for Nutshell Lady. She explained how rhythmic breathing helps to regulate. Now I had already heard about rhythmic breathing, but this was from an executive coach who was trying to make people feel fantastic and be great at being CEOs. You know what would be great about CEOs and anybody who's all the way up there is if they had a heart that beated in a way of secure attachment, so that they had resolved all of their trauma and insecurity. The low self-esteem comes forth as passive-aggressive, indirect communication, and people who think we're going soft because they'd rather see things that are not humorous in any way, shape, or form to an emotionally mature human being who's like, where's your humanity and how dare you even think of that as humanly, like, no. And I'm not going to specify the example. I've talked about it enough in our lovely podcasts. So more than half of humanity is intuitive because we're all nervous systems, which is where I loved when Tara Brach and her summit after the pandemic, and they had already shared this with the UN and a lot of other people that are educators, good ones. They're sharing information to the masses that apparently like the stories, yes, because the masses, 4D, it's a bunch of, we want to bond. We have our flat earthers. I love hearing about them, loved learning about them, wish they'd use their brain to save the environment. And I wish that they knew that intuitiveness is not a special gift. As I was saying, we're embodied nervous systems. So when you are born, the first year of your life, thank you attachment researchers, and this has been proven again and again and again, that if you're a functional adult, your mind doesn't go rigid, it goes flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable. The functional adult knows how to respectfully converse with you and handle self-regulation. Even in the midst of panic attacks, I've been able to have conversations because I know that I'm safe. And I'm okay with being a conduit because your integrated brain, and any brain, when you learn neuroscience, even just a tiny bit independently from the ones who talk about it with spiritual or not, all cases, 5D mystic knows we're energy. So it makes a lot of sense, because it's like the 5D mystic is the mathematician of the mystic plane, but we're not dry. And no offense, mathematicians or, data point people, but it is dry. I mean, like for me, I tried watching this thing that talked about infinity. I need to rewatch it, because I was like, data. I'm like, okay, wait a minute though. I'm lost now, and I was really bad in math. To this day, math is not my forte, and I know it's because my brain works a certain way, and I could work to make it better, but I need people to help me make it better, and I don't have more than 24 hours. So you know what? Here's my strength, my right with my left. I'm okay with allowing other people to have the left and then their right, and there you go. We can complete each other, and that's what a mature masculine feminine independently will do when they come together, which is awesome when you have the twin flames that are mature people. And this is the part. There's no saga. There's no need to talk about, some people say it's easy. I saw this twin coach. Obviously, she's doing marketing, and I'm an online marketer. Oh yes, I'm an online entrepreneur, and I have a bachelor's in political science. So I did learn about what marketing is, because, political science, I mean, we are going to learn how to speak in front of people. I thought that they'd learn how to also care about people, and then I remembered it's made by the people for the people, and I looked at the masses, and they all hate being a human. Apparently, they think of higher states of consciousness being up there, versus recognizing that the first part it is here, and if you don't know how to use your left mode, chit chatter with the stuff that comes up, implicit memory, it builds up till you're 3 years of age, and then you get explicit. Oh, and your left mode brain turns online apparently after about 7 months or a year old. Not making this shit up, it's researchers. But hey, go tell people who believe, no, there's a devil or demon inside of somebody. No, there's unresolved trauma and more attachment insecurity. They don't even know how to regulate, actually. This is sad, because they didn't learn, because they didn't have a household that was safe. So they learned heartbreak, gut wrench, torn apart. I am defective. That's a lifestyle strategy, not a lifestyle, a developmental saving of life strategy. No, not a lifestyle. Though some people do make shame their lifestyle, but they cover it up with a lot of movies that allow them to have what is called quote unquote solace. It's sad to a person who knows that your higher state of consciousness depends on you, and that there's great educators that can help you to get out of hell from your body. The therapists need to negotiate with their patients. This is what all the therapists that I learned from. Again, I'm trauma informed, somatic informed, plenty of lovely certificates and places to send people. What broke my heart, and then again said, okay, well, now I see where we have the need to be speaking a lot more about this stuff in a normal way, not I'm special because I have clairs. I knew immediately that I wasn't special, because I'm one of a kind, and I even have an identical twin. So you're special and I'm special. That's healthy self-worth. I'm not superior. I ain't inferior. Don't you look at me in any way. And if you do, I'll probably try to be respectful, because inside of me there's a very distinctive knowingness of, don't you treat me like a piece of shit, because that's not really nice. But you know what? I'm going to be the bigger person and learn how to look at you with respect and say, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure to meet with your limited consciousness version. Shall I move on to tango with somebody who knows how to tango like a real grown-up, emotionally and mentally? Because see, grown-ups, the beauty of being in the Enlightenment Soul Ager, by the way, and being a 5D mystic, is you're a human, like full-on force. And you know what you learn about the ventral vagal state when you do enough trauma-informed? And I love you, Sadhguru, but spirituality, it's way beyond what you will ever experience. People who do spirituality, that's their belief stuff. People who love being human, man, and women, and they, now that is where I'm talking. So we are in our ventral vagal state when we know how to self-regulate. And so when you don't have, I need to prove who I am, which is where the adaptive child is, because mommy, daddy see me, soothe me. It's serious business. The hell out of a body is serious business. The trauma therapists need to negotiate with people, because it's that excruciatingly painful. And in the meantime, you got 4D wanting to talk about twin flames, sagas, and demons and devils. So no, the higher consciousness, it's human related, and it can be done. Thank you, Sadhguru, for existing, because ventral vagal nervous system toning exercises, yoga, mindfulness, use your prefrontal cortex. If you learn how your embodied brain works, Human 101 is very straightforward. So we don't need people to tell us how to build our relationships. We are always compassionate Zen masters, the 5D mystics. Join on in. We have some special stuff coming up. Tune into the podcast, the YouTube channel. Have a great day. again, be kind to each other.